Hey everybody. So I had the good fortune of receiving this prototype of this awesome new neck knife that's coming out from Artisan Cutlery by its designer, Mike Emler. You know him from YouTube, and you know him from his sharpening work, Crazy Sharp. Mike Emler, he does, well, he has a sharpening service all his own, but he also works with the guys at Ferrum Forge, putting extra special edges on their extra special knives. Very interesting guy with a rich past and a very interesting way of sharpening knives that he learned when he lived in Japan. So anyway, this is his new design. Before I get to that, you might know him also for his Wee knife, the Stonefish. It's a knife by Wee that he designed and has made some custom versions of. And this is a really interesting and compelling knife. And I got to say, until I got it in hand, I mean, I always thought it was a really good looking knife, but I realized once I got it in hand just how beefy and stout this knife is. It's, I think it would be a tremendous workhorse. But we'll talk about this in a different video. But Mike Emler also designed the Stonefish for Wee. So here, this is called the Sea Snake, and it is a neck knife, and it is very light, super light and super thin. You know what? I don't ordinarily do this, but I didn't actually weigh it. So let me weigh it with my dirty, filthy, rotten. Okay, hang on one sec. How are we doing? We're zeroed out. Okay, so I don't ordinarily do this, so I'm a little bit. 3 ounces on the nuts. Look at that. I mean, beautiful. 3 ounces is very light. Very light. So, here it is. Look at this. Beautiful Wharncliffe blade. I love that curving plunge line. That is gorgeous. But look at how thin this is. I don't know if you can appreciate this just by looking at it. Probably not, but it's a very, very thin. It's an already thin blade stock. And then it comes down to a super thin edge. Let me get a little. So I've worn this once. I've carried this once, and it was one of my office days this week. And I had this on, and here's a testimony to how light and thin this knife is. Now, I'm going to put this off to the side. When I'm at work, where is it? I always have my ID on me. And on the back of my ID, I have a Bastinelli diagnostic there, little knife. I had this on at the same time, under my shirt, between my undershirt and my regular work shirt was this, and then I had this on top, and I did not notice this. Now, I'm not too big on neck knives. I love the concept, but I often find myself just fussing with it and not liking it, not liking the carry experience, but not these tiny knives included. So in any case, what I'm trying to say is light and thin and unobtrusive. Beautiful knife. So now, coming out from Artisan, the Sea Snake, this thing is presented in one of their brand new steels. RPM 9. That's a steel. It's a proprietary steel that they're using on the little folder that everyone loves right now, whose name escapes me, but neat little folder. I have not used this so much. I've cut some paper and sharpened a pencil, and to me that's like my main EDC task with a small knife, is sharpening pencils. This thing is awesome at sharpening pencils, which is just a testimony to the fact that it's got a very thin edge and a very, very sharp edge. Everything is very acute here. I really like this knife. I think when this comes out, I will get this, and this is the kind that I will use and wear because it's thin and light, but it's actually pretty long. Now, here, I'll roll in some other neck knives that I actually do carry, and I'll show you how much different they are in size. This I find very comfortable. The Minimalist, which in its various iterations I've carried for years, I find very comfortable. What do you notice about these two? They're very small. The Sea Snake is, what is this? It's a 2.5-inch cutting edge about, and a 3-inch blade about, and it carries like it's barely there, and you get all of this handle, which is nice. For me, with my medium to sometimes small hands, I don't mean my hands change shape, I mean depending on the gloves, but I can get a full 4-finger grip there, and then when you come up on this choil, it's, you know, utility city, baby. Look at that. Great little knife, and not for nothing. Well, wait, let me come back to that. So these are small. My point of showing you these is that these are about as the only comfortable neck knives I've ever found that I can wear consistently all day long. This one, I did it with this also on my neck, and it worked. So to me, this is a winner for me. I would love to see this in a micarta handle. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know exactly what they're doing in terms of handle materials and such. But as I say that, maybe not. Maybe if in micarta, I would want it polished like this G10. This G10 is, these scales are quite thin and they're quite smooth. And that is part of why I didn't notice this all day, because there was no texture, no gription on this grabbing onto my shirt. There was no rolling, there was no catching, there was no printing, like the shirt wasn't riding. You know, you sit down and your shirt kind of fluffs up, you stand up. This G10 is smooth, it just falls right down, whereas something too grippy might hang up on the shirt, and that would kind of negate the whole purpose. But yeah, I am digging this knife. And what I was about to say is it's excellent in a reverse grip. So if you wanted to use this in a self-defense-y kind of way, and you know, lately I've been talking about pick-call knives. It's very interesting to me, style of deploying a knife in a defensive way. I've always been used to this and trained like this, but this is something else, and I like it. And this is a pretty comfortable design in this grip, even though it's not intended for that. So just in case you were wondering. So here it is with the minimalist and the diagnostic. I have a couple other neck knives here. This is a cold steel spike. That's a 4-inch blade. It's a nice solid 4-inch blade. This is a very light and thin knife. And this I can tolerate. It is a little bit long though. I mean, look at this. It is a little bit long. That extra 1.5 inches there, you feel it. And then, oops, sorry about that. And then with the texture on this faux G10, I don't know why they didn't just call it Grivery, but they called it faux G10. This little bit of brick and raised there is good, great for grip, especially on such a thin knife. But it does do that thing I was talking about with shirts. It does kind of have more texture, so it does tend to grab the fabric a little bit more. Great knife. I put jimping on the back because, you know, jimping. Let's see, this is here with another very common, here, let me move this down and this down, you know, for important reference. And here's one that is pretty common, the Obaki. This is also one that I can tolerate, a pretty big neck knife that I can tolerate for a long time, but I'm always aware of it. This I was pretty much forgetful of, like these two. Let's see, two more. Another cool cold steel that this is discontinued. Kiridashi. What is that? Mini tack. Kiridashi, pretty cool little design. And then let's see. Oh, this one is also a pretty popular neck knife. And that is the Tops MSK 2.5, I believe. Now this one is small, like the others. However, I am usually aware of it because it's a little more substantial. It's got that micarta scales. Now this is a nice smooth micarta, and it's good at just moving around under the shirt. But it's a little thick with that liner and stuff, so I'm usually pretty aware I have this on. This is also a pretty cool knife. Anyway, so this is the sort of panoply of neck knives that I can handle. Now, if I were bigger and burlier, maybe I could wear bigger and heavier neck knives and not mind. But, well, for right now and probably for the rest of my life in this body, it's going to be the case that small neck knives, like the Diagnostic and the CRKT Minimalist, are going to be the ones, except something like this, that's a medium-sized neck knife. If it's made like this, super thin blade, super slicey, thin handle, smooth, relatively neutral. Oh yeah, I could totally see myself getting this knife. So there it is, your sneak peek at the Artisan Cutlery Sea Snake, designed by Michael Emler. Check it out. Check out his channel at Crazy Sharp. He's got he does great daily videos, but he also has some great sharpening videos where he really talks about edge geometry and blade grind and heat treat and all that stuff. It's very interesting stuff. He's a smart guy. All right, thanks very much for watching.